it's Michelle, and I've got another fun bead charm for you guys today. You may have seen my recent ballerina bead charm video. That was so much fun, and that inspired a new idea of doing a fairy. So we're going to be doing a fairy today, and I can't wait to show this to you guys. You know that I love all things fairyland themed, and I'm really excited about this fairy. Also, be sure to check back because I have some more fairyland bead charm ideas that I can't wait to show you guys. So I'm going to be using some of the aluminum wire in 18 gauge. That's just the $1 rolls that you can get at Walmart. I'm using a bright silver color, but you can use whatever color that you would like. I've got two 1-inch head pins, and then I've got a 2-inch eye pin. We're going to be using that eye to dangle her legs, which are going to be on here just like we did on our ballerina. I have a 6mm jump ring and a lobster clasp. For her head, I'm going to be using a wooden bead this time. For the ballerina, I used a pearl. You can use that if you want to, or a crystal bead, whatever you want. And we're going to build her skirt out of flowers. I thought that was just fitting for a fairy. And this one's going to go underneath. It's a little, looks like about 12.5 millimeters there, just one of those little acrylic flower beads. And that's going to be underneath her skirt. It's going to help kind of hide the eye on the eye pin, which may have been a good idea also for the ballerina. And these larger flower beads for her skirt are about 25 millimeters. They're also just the acrylic ones. And I'll try to find some links to leave for you guys. Again, we've got the same kind of teardrop bead. This one is about 6 by 11. And then we've got a 5mm crystal rondelle spacer bead there. Again, that's going to be her sparkly belt, just like on our ballerina. And for her feet, I've got the little 3 by 5mm teardrop beads. These are what I was telling you guys that I wanted to see on my ballerina, so she would have the little tippy toes. And I wanted so bad to do that on the ballerina, but I just couldn't find them in pink. I had a viewer comment after that it would be a good idea to color those with some alcohol markers or Sharpies or something like that. And I absolutely love that idea. I went back to my bead stash to try to do that, and I was going to do a remake of my ballerina so she had tippy toes. But I didn't even have any clear ones that I could color. But I thought that was such a great idea, and thank you so much to whoever that was that commented that suggestion. I think that's great, and I will be using it on future projects when I don't have the right color. Here we've got a 10mm bead cap, and I want you guys to see that. These are pretty common. You can find these just about anywhere. They're all over eBay for really dirt cheap, and I think you'll be a little bit surprised at what we're going to do with that. I've got here another 8mm bead cap. This one is in sort of a gold color, and I don't know if you guys can see that design. It's sort of a leafy look, and I thought it would be really fun to make that like golden blonde hair on my fairy. And this here is a really special piece. I love it. It's just a wavy rondelle spacer, which is about 6mm wide. And then it's got these 2 bead caps sort of out of either end. And I thought if we remove one of those, that would make the perfect crown. And I just really wanted my fairy to have a crown, so I think that's going to be great. So what I'm going to do is remove one of those so it's just the rondelle spacer with the bead cap coming out the top. I just had these in my stash. They were gifted to me quite a while back, and I just thought I could modify it that way to make it the crown that I wanted it to be. And if you guys don't have these, you can just use a wavy rondelle spacer in a 6mm and one of these little bead caps turned upside down on top of it, and that'll be great. So I'm going to see if I can just pull one side of this out. And they come out fairly easily because these are those thin little bead caps. And that just came right out. So there we have our little crown, and I think that is so cute. And just like with our ballerina, this wire is going to be used for her arms, and that was cut at 2.5 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And that's all we're going to need for her arms. And just straighten that out the best you can. If you've got a pair of nylon jaw pliers, that helps to really get it nice and straight. And now we're just going to start putting it together. So the first thing we're going to do is going to be her legs. And we're putting those teardrop beads on with the pointed end down, so she's going to have little tippy toes like I wish my ballerina had had. So now I'm just going to bend that over about 1/4 inch. And I really like these multi-use pliers for that. They've got the flat jaw inside of there that's perfect for bending it over. And it's about 1/4 inch wide, so that helps me gauge. Then I've got a cutter down inside of there and my round nose. So I rarely have to change tools when I'm using these. Same thing for her other leg. I'll try to find a link to these pliers for you guys too. They're so handy. They are the Cousins brand, I know that much. And if I can find a link to this specific kind, I will be sure to include that for you guys. Okay, so there are her legs with her little pointy toes, and she's looking cute already. We're going to go ahead and dangle her legs on there, because when I put my ballerina together, I waited till afterwards, and it was kind of difficult getting up under there. So this time I'm going to go ahead and do it before we start adding our beads. I need my little chain nose to get in there and close those back up. Okay, there are her little dangling legs. Okay, so the first thing we're going to put on is her blue flower. And that does help hide those loops a little bit. I wish I had done that on my ballerina as well. Next I'm going to put the purple and then the green. You can put those in any order, in any colors you want. But I thought I wanted the green showing a little more. It's a little more earthy, like a fairy, I thought. And now her little sparkly belt and the teardrop bead pointed end down for her body. And now we're just going to let her sit there while we get her arms ready. Okay, so you guys may remember how I did this from the ballerina. And I'm just going to fold that in half. And then crisscross it over. And now I'm going to pull that loop tighter and tighter. I want to make sure that it will go over my head pin just fine. And once I get it on there, I can pull it a little tighter if I want to, and even tighten it up firmly on the head pin there. And then just kind of pull her arms out straight. And we're going to loop the end and that's going to serve as her hands while also just closing up that cut in so it's not sharp. And now here's a part I think you guys are going to like. This little bead cap right here is going to be her wings. So all I'm going to do is just take my flat nose pliers and flatten that out. And you can see it's got 5 tips, and we're going to let 2 on one side be a wing, 2 on the other side be a wing, and this one here we're just going to bend it over. And we'll slip that right down onto our head pin. And we'll turn that around so you can see her wings. Actually, now that I see it, I think I may put it on first so that it hangs down over the back of her body, and then put the arms on top of that. And I think that's adorable. They're little, but I think it's really cute. If you have a bead cap like that in a larger size, go ahead and make her some larger wings. I think that would be cute. And now the 8mm wooden bead for her head and her blonde hair. Look how cute, you guys. I just love that. And her little crown. Is she adorable or what? I just love that. Okay, so now I'm going to bend that over. I can't bend it over completely at a 90 because her crown's in the way, but that's okay, we'll work around it. And cut that down a little bit. Just a little bit came off of it there. And we'll roll that back into a loop. And now we just have to attach our jump ring and lobster clasp, and she will be all done. And you can play with the positioning of her arms a little bit if you want to. I think maybe going upward is a little better. And there's our cute little fairy bead charm. I had so much fun with her. And like I said, I've got some more Fairyland themed bead charms coming up, so be sure to check back for that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think you guys are going to like it. So don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Give me a like over on my Facebook page, and be sure to join our Facebook group, Crafty Minds. Also follow me on Pinterest and Instagram, and don't forget to visit my blog. I'll have those links in the description below, so be sure and check them out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.